Hello children, how are you all? I hope you all are good and taking care of yourself. Now in this video of chapter number 5, we are going to discuss pair of lines and the checking of parallel lines. So let's start. In this video, we are going to cover the topics. First, pair of lines. In pair of lines, we are going to study parallel lines, intersecting lines, transversal line, and the angles made by transversal, then transversal of parallel lines. Then we are going to study checking for parallel lines. Now first of all, let's see what is parallel line. In the figure you can see the two lines are there. These are called parallels because these lines doesn't meet anywhere in a plane, and when two straight lines in a plane do not intersect each other at any point, then these lines are called parallel lines. So parallel lines are those lines which do not meet and which do not intersect each other at any point. Now the next is intersecting lines. Intersecting lines are two or more lines that cross or meet at one point. In the figure you can see that these two lines are crossing each other and meeting at one point, that is point E. So point E is called the point of intersection, where the two lines intersect at one point, and this point is called point of intersection. Now next we have transversal line. A transversal line is a line that passes through two or more lines in the same plane at two distinct points. Now in this figure you can see that there is two line L and M, and line P is passing through these both the lines, and this line P is intersecting line L and M also. So we can say that P is a line that passes through two or more lines in the same plane and intersecting at two distinct points. You can see P is intersecting line L at this point and M at this point, not at the same point. So this line P is called a transversal line. So when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, 8 angles are formed. You can see when a transversal line cut the two lines, then 8 angles are formed. You can see here 4 angles and here 4 angles. So in all 8 angles are formed. Now the intersection of transversal with two lines create various types of pair of angles. Transversal line intersect the parallel lines or any two lines. It creates a pair of angles, and we are going to study those pair of angles in the next topic, that is very important topic of this chapter. So angles made by transversal. First of all, we will see the interior angle, then alternate interior angle, then pair of interior angles on the same side of transversal, then exterior angles, alternate exterior angle, and pair of corresponding angles. So by these are the different pair of angles made by a transversal line. So we are going to study one by one these type of pair of angles, so which is very important for this chapter, and the next exercise we will do. So first of all, interior angles. What are the interior angles? You can see that two lines L and M are parallel here, and P is a transversal. Okay, and interior angles are, interior means inside the two parallel lines, angles formed inside the two parallel lines. So these are the 4 angles which are inside these two parallel lines. So what are these angles? 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we will call all these 4 angles as interior angles. Now the next is alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles are between the lines, means which are the already interior in between the two lines. That's why it is called interior. and in the opposite side of transversal, means alternate. So suppose this angle is here, so what will be the opposite side of its angle? That is angle 6, because this opposite side, this is transversal, angle 3's opposite side is this side, so angle 6 will be the alternate interior angles. So what are the pair of alternate interior angles? 3 and 6. Similarly, we can see angle 4 and angle 5 are the pair of alternate interior angles. So here 3 and 6 and 4 and 5 are alternate interior angles. I hope this is clear. Now the next is interior angles on the same side of the transversal. So same side of the transversal. Now we have seen the opposite angles. Now we will take the pair of same side of the angles. You can see in the picture these two lines L and M and the interior angle 3 and 5. These both the angles are the same side of the transversal. Similarly, here also you can see angle 4 and angle 6 are on the same side of the transversal, and also they are interior angles. Now the next pair of angle is exterior angle. So exterior means outside. So you can see clearly understand from the picture that those angles which are outside these two lines, that is L and M, that is 1, 2, 7 and 8. These angles are called exterior angles. Now we will see here also alternate exterior angles. You see here alternate exterior angles. Now here 2 is an exterior angle and its opposite exterior angle, that is alternate exterior angle, will be angle 7. Similarly, angle 1 is an exterior angle and its alternate exterior angle will be angle 8. So we have the two pair of alternate exterior angle. One is 2 and 7 and the another one is 1 and 8. Now the next type of pair of angle is corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are those angles which have different vertices and are on the same side of transversal and have corresponding position. It means both upper left or lower left or upper right or lower right. So let's understand this point. Corresponding angles which have first different vertices. Different vertices means suppose angle 1 is having this vertex, this point. Okay, so here you can see the 3 more angles are there which are sharing the same vertex. So we cannot call these angles as a corresponding angle to 1. So what will be the corresponding angle to 1 which has the different vertex? So we will see the different vertices here, where angle 5, 6, 8 and 7. Now out of these 4 angles, which one is the corresponding angle? So let's see, are on the same side of the transversal. So this is a transversal, angle 1 is on this side. So for this side we need the angle which have different vertex but on the same side. So here on the same side we have angle 5 which is the corresponding angle of angle 1. Now the third point is called corresponding positions. It means if the angle is upper left, this is the left side and this is the right side of the transversal. So upper left side, if the angle is upper left, so its corresponding angle will also be upper left. Okay, if the angle is upper right, so its corresponding angle will also be upper right. If the angle is lower left, so the corresponding angle will be lower left. If the angle is lower right, so the corresponding angle will also be lower right. So I hope this corresponding angle concept is clear to you. So from this figure we can say that the corresponding angles are angle 1 and angle 5, angle 2 and angle 6, angle 3 and angle 7, angle 4 and angle 8. These are the corresponding angles. Now the next topic we have transversal of parallel lines. So there are some points which we should keep in mind when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. So the pair of angles have a relation with them. So what are those relations? Let us see one by one. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of corresponding angles are equal. So all the corresponding angles will be equal if the parallel lines are cut by a transversal. Now, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of alternate interior angles are equal. So, we have seen what is alternate interior angles, and if the two parallel lines cut by a transversal, the alternate interior angles will be equal. Now, the third point is if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of alternate exterior angles are equal. Similarly, if alternate interior angles are equal, then the pair of alternate exterior angles, will also be equal. Then if the parallel line are cut by a transversal, then the interior angles on the same side of transversal are supplementary. Now we have seen that the interior angles on the same side of transversal, that those angles will not be equal, but their sum will be equals to 180 degree. They will be a supplementary angles. So these are the 4 points. We will see one by one these points through the diagram. The first point, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of corresponding angles are equal. Now you can see the two parallel lines is L and M, and the transversal P is passing through it, and the corresponding angle 1 and angle 5, angle 2 and angle 6. These are the corresponding angles. They will be equal. Angle 1 will always equals to angle 5. Angle 2 will be equals to angle 6. Now, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of alternate exterior angle are equal. Now, we have seen what is alternate exterior angle. Angle which is exterior means outside the lines, and they are alternate means they are opposite. So, here you can see angle 2 and angle 7. They are exterior angle as well as they are alternate. So, angle 2 and angle 7 will be equal when the two parallel line L and M is cut by a transversal P. Here also angle 1 and angle 8 will be equal. Now the third point is if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of alternate interior angles are equal in measure. So you can see that the alternate interior angle is angle 3 and angle 6. So the measure of angle 3 and angle 6 will be equal if the transversal cuts the two parallel line. Here similarly angle 4 will be equals to angle 5. Now the last fourth point, if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, each pair of interior angle on the same side of transversal are supplementary. Now you see the same side of the transversal and the interior angles on the same side. So this is transversal line and the interior angle is 3 and 5, which is on the same side. So when we add angle 3, angle 5, their sum will come 180 degree. Then also angle 4 and angle 6 are on the same side of the transversal. So their sum will also be 180 degree. So these are the 4 property of a transversal line when it cuts the two parallel lines. Now checking for parallel line, this is the last topic of the chapter. If we have to check whether the lines are parallel or not, following conditions should be followed or satisfied. So first condition is corresponding angles are equal. Just now we have seen if the parallel lines are parallel, so the angles will be equal. Similarly, if the corresponding angles are given equal, so line will be parallel. If alternate angles are equal, here alternate angles both exterior and interior we are talking about. If alternate interior angles are equal, then the lines are parallel. If alternate exterior angles are also equal, then the lines will be parallel. Then the last is interior angle on the same side of transversal are supplementary. Just now we have seen that if the angles are on the same side of the transversal, their sum will come 180 degree, then the lines will be definitely parallel. So these are the points we should keep in mind when we check that the line is parallel or not. Now in the next video children, we will start exercise 5.2.